what Kim hasn't put here is it's going to be half filter. So it's going to be half MFM filter. Okay. Now there is a method written down for our certificates. Okay, guys. So when we're doing a certificate for this, you have to actually add the first part, that half an MFM filter was elutriated, and then it was used, in polarized light.
A separate certificate.
It's the same ID certificate, but there is an extra sentence at the beginning of the method to say that we actually elutriated half a MFM.
Oh, okay, so it's a different one.
So yeah. So I will find that and I'll make you all aware of where that is as soon as I find it, because I myself am not aware exactly where it is. Okay, so it's very, very easy. If we're doing this like we did the other day for MacUni, we knew that what we were really worried about was amosite. Mm-hmm. So we did it in 167 oil. Okay? Yep. We don't know, from what Karen's given us here, we don't know if she was, if it was for amosite or if it was for chrysotile. So under this circumstance, I'm just going to elutrate in 155.
Can you cut it in half again?
Yes, we can. And that may actually be the safer thing when we do not know for sure. Okay? Because when we talk about asbestos fibres, we know that really the more airborne, or tend to be airborne, are the amosite compared to the chrysotile, which is a lot denser and tends to drop. Okay? So why don't we do that? That's very good, Alex. Why don't we do that? So we're just going to grab 2 slides and we're going to label them. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll just put the number on here, 94697, and then we'll call that 155. 94697 167. Okay. All right. So what we need to do is we need to put a little bit, maybe just a little bit more oil than what we would normally put for our fibres. Now, would you be able to get me the holder to pop this out? You know, the paper. Yeah. Oh no, the paper clip that's, and also the scalpel. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. That's fine. Yeah. Tough. Okay, so we'll take this baby out. So, I'm just going to cut this in half. Stay. All right. And then I'm just going to drop it over the oil like so, and let the oil absorb up into the filter like that. Okay, excuse me, I'll just grab a little dish. Okay. We shouldn't need to do too much pushing around or whatever. If there's any fibres, they should just naturally come straight off and go on to the oil. What happened then? Oh! So my oil was completely absorbed, so I'm going to have to add more oil. Did you see that, guys? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to add more oil. So, yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Though I would have thought most of it should be there. So, okay, so obviously time's of the essence here. Just in, on and off. Okay. I'll just do the same here with 167.
Use the other one to stop it.
I'll just use this. Hmm. Would you mind just putting a little bit more oil on there for me?
Tell me when.
Yeah, maybe that'll do. Yeah. Okay, so here we go again. Let's pop it in. Okay.
So are you like sort of washing the filter?
It is, and we don't want to rub it. We just want the fibres, because we're not after a quantitative test here. We're after a qualitative. Okay, so obviously what's happened is similar to what happened to us at MacUni, right? Fibres have been on the MFM. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she's thinking, okay, are these things I need to worry about? Okay, so that's what that's all it is. It's just saying, okay, these are what the fibres are that we found. Okay, now then when it comes to the other one, when it comes to analysing, it's going to be as per trace. So we're just going to go up and down our slide. Now I haven't explained trace, I don't think, to you yet, Melville. No. So you know how when we got our MFM slide, we go across, up and down. Mm-hmm. When we do trace, it's a similar process, okay? And we're looking for fine fibres, okay? So there's a bit more to it than that, but I will explain it. I'll just finish this. So then what's needed is to go up and down. Okay. So I can see some small fibres, and I would be now with trace. We need to know that to prove unequivocally that they are asbestos fibres. Okay. Now, if it's amosite and it's in 155, of course we're not going to get the colours, but we're still going to know it's an asbestos form fibre. Yeah? Okay. And the same with the other way around. If it's amosite and it's chrysotile and it's in 167, which is not going to be as obvious. Now, as I'm going through here, I'm coming across SMF fibres as well. And this was probably what she's really worried about, okay? So then all we have to do is we have to scan up and down. There are some prismatic type things as well. And we need to do a count. Now, I'll let you all have a look at this because there are some fibres on there.
You've got to do a count.
You do like what
you've got.
You do like a
concentration count, so to speak.
You do like let's do a count as you would do a trace.
Right.
So normally we would say 5 fibres on one slide, and then we do another slide. Okay, we've got 2 slides. Okay, one's in 155, one's in 167. what I've got here, and I'll show you, within the graticule, I would say it's highly likely. No, it probably is amosite. Okay, so if you have a look, it's on the lower left quadrant,
So
and
it's
there's
yellow,
and
is
it,
it?
and it, if you put it onto dispersion staining, because it's 155, it goes yellow. Okay, so then 167 is going to tell us whether it's actually amosite. Of course, we can't do anything with that one because it's in 155. But also there is SMF. So I'm going to be noting on the worksheet SMF, right, as well as fibres that are not chrysotile. I'm going to write amosite in my conclusion question mark, and I'm going to confirm that when I do 167. Yeah, does that make any sense?
Yeah. But with the, because you got two slides,
Yeah.
would you count this trace as just one, or would you do two traces?
I would trace, this is one slide, there's my second slide.
Yeah, I know, but with both, because it came from the one sample, so would you make
Yes.
it like a soil sample, for example? and
Well,
do-
that's how we, do trace. It's from the one sample. Did you see that?
Yeah, I
that
did.
little, and Melville, you have a look. Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to show you the paperwork that goes with this now.
Yes.
Okay.
Is
So
the
this
answer.
is number one slide.
Yes, is the answer. But then when you do that, I need to ask you some questions as well. Okay?
So
Right.
it's going to
Did
be
you go to the department? Who paid for that?
sub-sample
And
one,
the petrol?
and that's this. And I've got it in 155. Okay. Now, did you see that?
Yeah,
That
one
rod?
little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. There is also, and if you put it onto dispersion staining, Melville, you might be able to find some SMF. So there's also SMF. So I know
Oh,
in this.
I don't know what that looks like either.
Ah, you don't, Alex. If you want to check, and then Alex will show you. To find SMF, you really need to have it in dispersion staining because you do not see it under normal PLM
No,
because
just
it's
tell me.
isotropic.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you put on
Right,
dispersion
I'll put
staining,
$200
and then you find
fine.
like rods,
Yeah.
and then if you and then you confirm that by going back to PLM, and it disappears. So then you know you have SMF.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got one for you.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
right in the middle of the graticule.
In that one, I've seen.
I will put it right in the middle of the
There's
graticule.
one there,
Yeah,
and then there's one further up.
yeah.
Anyway.
So you
So,
would then just do the
So
trace
I've got it on
and
dispersion
count how
staining,
many.
so you can see
I
it.
Through that
And then
whole
if you want to just
I
change
would-
it,
process.
it will disappear.
Well, I would say
It's not a case of just absence or presence.
it is. We're not
Okay.
giving
Yeah.
quantification. We're only just we're doing we're qualitating quantities. We can't give her a quantitative.
Yes, I will say absolute presence or absence. I'm sorry,
That's
can I
right.
look at? I'm
So-
sorry about that.
So, on my worksheet, I'm
Yeah.
going to call it subsample 1, and I'm going to do a couple of,
SMF, which is that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a couple of them because we know we have SMF. So the first one I had, right, was a fine rod, yeah?
Yeah.
It was length slow. The birefringence was medium to strong, yeah? It was parallel, no relief,
Yeah.
right? Pleochroic, no. Principal RS, so we had yellow. Okay? Non-isotropic, not that. So it's not CH for starters, yeah? But I'm going to write down this, amosite question mark. And as you see, this is your initial conclusions along here. So writing amosite question mark tells somebody else later on down the track, all right, so they found something, but it wasn't chrysotile. So they're going to check for amosite.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can't check it in 155. I have to do that in 167. Okay, so it's very good that you came up with the thing of chopping the thing in two, right? I would still need to go through that whole slide and just check if I have got any chrysotile as well. The other thing we know we have most definitely is SMF. Yeah? So then I would, again, number 1. So
It's definitely SMS. That was a nice
We go
neat rod, that one.
coarse rods, okay? Isotropic, yes. So we definitely have SMF. So our stories thus far on that slide is we found an asbestos fibre, maybe amosite.
Right,
Okay?
can we just have a quick look at
Yeah,
that?
throw that one in. But we definitely found SMF. Okay? So let's have a look at the second slide, and that's in 167. Now, can you see how there was quite a lot of particulate on that?
Yep.
So it shows that you don't have to actually press it in. If you press it in, you run the risk of maybe drawing the fibres back up into the filter. So you just want to sort of place it gently and let it elutriate over the top,
Okay.
and then take it off. The reason I ran out of oil is I've never actually done two at the same time. So times of the essence, you probably need to do it one at a time. Put it on, pull it off straight away, so you've still got more oil. But as you saw, we can always add extra oil. Yeah. So what Karen wants to know is what is in these fibres? What is it? Now, if we find amosite, which I think we have, then that's not our problem. Okay, that's going to be Karen's problem, or whatever for this particular job. But because, as we know with the MFM method, we count all fibres. Okay, so what might look like amosite in the MFM method may actually be SMF.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's definitely SMS here.
Yeah.
I'll just find that.
So we're not able to say, oh, well, what you actually counted, Karen, was,
Anything.
was any,
Yeah.
whatever. If we cannot, okay, this is another issue that may arise with this sample. If we cannot find an amosite fibre that we can absolutely say that's amosite,
Yeah.
well, we're not going to be able to say that's amosite.
Yeah, that's right.
Unknowns. You could say they're unknowns, but remember we're doing a trace. So far in that other slide, I didn't go for. Richard found another one, so we found 2. We need 5. Okay, not that trace has anything to do with this particular method. Okay, but it would actually give us more confirmation. Okay, so if we found those fibres that we found scattered around in both of our slides, then we can safely say, okay, yeah, you've got amosite in there.
So you mentioned that you require 5 at least?
This is for trace.
For trace.
Well, when we do trace, and it's in the standard, and it shows you like, what do you call it, where that goes from one box to another. No, it's not a graph. It's a table, diagram,
Yeah.
So it actually shows you, we haven't got one down here, have we? They're all upstairs. So you do when you do a soil, you analyse the entire soil, you pull out whatever is interesting, such as the fragment or bundles of fibres or whatever. And then at the very end, what we do is we put most of the soil away, and then the residue that's left in the dish, we make up 2 slides and we do a trace.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for the respirable fibres, because that's where the real risk is. The risk isn't in breathing in bundles of fibres. The risk is in the respirable fibres, which we know are the same measurement as what we do there. Greater than 5, less than 3. Okay? So and then we know that's where the issue is. And that's why we do trace with soils. Okay? There's hardly ever been a trace in soils.
All right.
Okay? You also need to do a trace with vinyls. Okay? Which is very different, especially for us, because we have a different method to everyone else.
Microscope is this is going beyond the stop.
Yeah, it can. It can easily go beyond the stop, Richard. You just got to reset it. Yeah. Have you found anything more?
No, I've found SMF,
Yeah.
but nothing else.
So we can assume that this is what Karen's been counting on the MFM method. She's been counting rods, and she's concerned about that.
So for this sample,
Yeah.
just lots of SMF rods. Okay. But little to no asbestos? Is that-
Yeah, well, see, we can't give her, we cannot, we're only qualifying what she's got. We can't give her a quantity.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So we can talk to her over the phone and say, well, we only found what looks to be 2 amosite fibres. But we cannot guarantee that because we have that in 155, unless we can find some in 167. Okay?
Yeah.
We can still, even if we can find some, we can still say, okay, the majority of what we found when we elutriated was SMF. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you have a shot.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. The microscope has gone past the stop. I think it needs to be redone.
Yeah, here it is, J. Sorry. Just needs to go there. Okay. Okay. Now it's there. Okay, so what you had there, Richard, don't.
It's not.
They're not. They're
Yeah,
probably a crystalline form of some sort.
Yeah.
But they're not. There's one there. Let's have a look at him. Okay. All right. Now this is really good because I found yet another fibre, which just above where you saw yours, Richard, which is again is a short one. Okay.
Is it doing the colours for amosite?
Just checking its length slow. No.
No.
So it's not amosite. It looks like amosite.
Is it still yellow?
It's not. It's yellow.
Yeah.
So if it's yellow, and we got it in 167, it means that the refractive index oil is actually higher than 167 for this particular fibre. Because when it doesn't match and we have a yellow, it means that the oil is too low for that fibre. Yeah. So and when the fibre shows blue in dispersion staining, it means that the oil is too high for the fibre.
So
Yeah. So this is yellow. I'll let you all have a look because it is what we saw before. It's yellow. It's in 167, which means for this particular fibre, the refractive index is higher than 167. Okay, we don't go higher than 167.
So it's an unknown.
So it's an unknown. So we can say it's a crystalline form of something, but it's not an asbestos fibre.
So it could never be possibly the 3.
No.
No, because they are 1.64, 1.605. Okay? So they're written down there.
So what type of fibre could it be?
Some sort of crystalline. It could even be like a small quartz. No, the quartz is normally blue in 155. But it could be any other type of fibre.
It's yellow.
So, okay. So now what I'm going to write down is I'm going to do sub-sample 2 or sub-slide 2, slide 2, whatever you want to call it. And I've done it in 167.
And
so
are you
again,
go
we've got
count
5 rods.
Are you go count?
No.
No, because it's
not. Yeah, it's not. So then it's going to be yellow again. Okay. And it's going to be not amosite. So we've got that it's not chrysotile, maybe it's amosite. We already did the SMF. And then we're going to say here, well, actually, it's not even amosite. Okay? So, yeah, you could say it's unknown, but it's not going to be an asbestiform. So we can write, it's always good to write a little story down the bottom, okay? So we can say here, fibres have a RI, refractive index, which is greater than 1.67. Therefore, it's not asbestos-form, okay? Not asbestos. Okay? How's that? All done?
Yep. So that's just one half that we've analysed.
Yeah,
Right?
the other half she's done.
Oh, okay.
And she's
okay.
counted.
Okay.
So when we get to a situation like we had at Mac Uni, okay, the problem with Mac Uni is we knew we had amosite in the fume hood when they took it out, okay? And how that got in from a little room that was like that, locked away, out into this area, which had plastic over it, how that amosite had gotten in there when they wrapped it up in there, apparently, onto the sample, which was out here, is beyond me. That's why I said that plastic had to be either used again, so it was recycled by the removalists, or they were wrapping it up out here when they said no, they didn't. They wrapped it in there. We should not have got amosite fibres out here.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense then.
Does that make sense?
On a job I didn't go to.
Yeah, well, that was, and there was the same guys that did the other Mac removal. They are not removalists, okay, but it's bonded so they can get around that way.
Certain under 10
Yeah,
kilometres.
yeah. So, okay,
Rightio.
all right, okay. Thank you.
Are we doing this now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go from one to another. We need to document it